I believe in what's your overall goal? What are we all moving towards? And for me, it's always moving, for right now especially, it's moving to what can we do to remain safe so we all come out healthy on the other side. When I say healthy, I'm not just talking physically healthy. I'm also talking mentally healthy. So, Nikki came up with every day of the week, let's do a theme. Workout Wednesdays, Saturdays, maybe everyone gets their own time for themselves. Thursdays, game night. So like different things to keep us occupied. Obviously everyone's situation is different, and we joked around about it. We're like, some people gonna find out who was the side piece and who wasn't right now.
It's the Empowerment Perspective Podcast, hosted by Demiso Josie and Mr. Kareem Spence. Stay empowered. Stay empowered.
All right, welcome to yet another episode of the Empowerment Perspective Podcast. I go by the name of Dr. Demiso A. Josie alongside
Spence is here.
And
Amy.
How we doing? Everyone all right? You all right, Kareem? You look a little groggy right now.
Man, listen, bacon, eggs, and cheese, man. Leaky.
In the hood, there's a term for that. So I don't think our audience is ready for that term, but I get it. I get it.
All right, assess myself, man. I know what it is. I got it. I got it.
How you doing, Jamie? You doing good?
I'm doing well, thank you.
I was looking on Facebook the other day, and I saw that you have some barber skills. Is this a new skill set that you're going to bring to the Empowerment Perspective group?
Yes, I can cut hair really, really well. I didn't really know how well I could until I did it. I'm offering my services to other people, but they won't accept it.
I think that was a shot at Kareem, but we don't need that.
Anybody touching these locks? You see how long my hair is on the side? Anybody touch these locks? I got nothing here, but this my locks right here. Nobody touching these locks.
That's pretty funny. I'm putting a sign out in front of your house. Jamie quarantine cuts. That's what we're going to do.
Yeah.
You good? All right. That's funny. So season 4, we've been doing a lot of podcasts with different people. We have comics on. We had teachers on. We had politicians on. We're kind of like all over the place with this one. How do you feel like the season 4 is going in a nutshell?
It's going well. I mean, we I got itis. So you had to cue me in. It's going well. I know that we're all fans of sports, and I think that's the next direction that we're going to head into. Is getting back to our roots, but also showing support and love to the culture and the profession of teaching. That's what we do on a daily basis, but that's also important as well.
Absolutely, Jamie. How you feel that you've been rocking with us the whole entire season so far? How's things go?
I met a lot of interesting people that had a lot of different perspectives on things, so it's been a lot of fun.
Awesome. In the previous season, I want to say maybe during the second season, we had a couple of podcasts, one that dealt with relationships, and we also had one that dealt with sports. Mm-hmm. So today we kind of marrying a whole bunch of stuff together. So I have a good friend of mine that's way out in California. Him and his wife decided to get into this podcast game. Somebody I grew up with. He actually was on a previous podcast. Both of them were on a previous podcast, but she's acting all shy. I didn't want to be on camera, so we had to redo it and make sure she's a part of it. They also have some great things going on. She has her own business. He's also doing some wonderful things for Syracuse University. I feel ashamed shouting that out because me and him have a little bit of beef going back and forth with that. But I'm going to let it slide for the sake of this podcast right now. But, they decided to get into this podcast game. They have a podcast called First and Forever. I'd like to welcome the Poles family. I would say family, couple. How you guys doing?
Thank y'all for having us.
Hey.
And I appreciate the shout out to Syracuse. I really do, because I know how much that probably hurt your soul right now.
Man. Yeah.
My wife Nikki wouldn't let me wear my Syracuse shirt, but you do see a little bit of Syracuse decorum in the back.
Nikki, you're pretty smart. I'm glad you decided he should not wear that on his podcast, because there'll be a big blur on his face right now. No outfit. Unless you want to give us some money, then we'll That is too funny. So let's talk about this podcast. You got the podcast called First and Forever. First, let's talk about what your target is. Like, what's your message that you get across in your podcast?
How about it?
You know what? It was something that I have been throwing around for a while, and we were like, really, there's no better time to do it than now. And the goal was really just to start it, right? And then we'll figure it out from there. But, we're going to talk about what we know, which is relationships, sports. We'll dabble in other things. But bottom line, just make it, especially now, just entertaining and fun.
Right.
Lighthearted, just something, get out there and speak about it. And we can tackle that serious questions in a funny way. And that's really our goal, is just to really just be out there and be in the front, just have fun with it.
Just you two people talking about real life, real life, unedited, uncut. So far, so good. I'm going to knock on wood. We do it once, and there's been not that I know of, no edits. It's like done. Put it out there.
Right.
Listen to it once, and that's it. Just it's real. It's real.
Right. That's awesome. So, it's kind of funny because obviously I know you guys, some of the stuff, the side comments that you have, I kind of laugh, and other people may not get it in the depth that I get it, but I'm like, oh, I know who he's talking about. But I definitely, it definitely was dope to hear you guys, start your podcast. And I think you said something that was really important because this is where this podcast really started. We just said, all right, let's just try it and see what happens. And then it would snowball from there. I will say though, watch out for the haters because they coming.
That's all right.
Again, real life, right?
Absolutely. So your podcast, you're drawing on personal experiences. Are you afraid of exposing stuff that you haven't exposed before in terms of your relationship?
I think most people that know me knows that I don't know how to sugarcoat anything. It just comes out. And so I think that's sort of the genuine thing that we're looking for in our podcast, because we don't hide things between each other. So what do we put out there that's really going to inflict pain between us two or bring anything between us? I don't think there's anything, right? So let's just have fun and let's talk about it. And if that motivates or moves someone else, great, awesome. If it causes other people to laugh, awesome. If it motivates others to say to each other, let's be more open and honest, that's cool. Yeah. I don't think there's a question that I think we're afraid of.
No, right now I'm sweating with miso because miso. We all go back some years, so miso knows a lot. But that's the thing. People that know us and who's listened to the 2 podcasts so far that we've done, they're like, this is you guys. This is, it's real. It's us. So it's nothing. It's life.
Yeah.
It's kind of like our podcast. Our podcast is not scripted. It's just real. It's about our experiences. We expose personal things about ourselves all the time. And we kind of just hope that people learn from it. And I guess that's kind of the space that you guys are coming into. Now, the First and Forever title, to me, it implies that there's also some sports elements that may creep up into the conversation. Nikki, how do you feel about talking about sports?
I feel fine. I have enough sports floating, not now at these times, but I'll get in there as best as I can.
Gotcha. So I do have some questions, some relationship questions, and it doesn't have to pertain to your relationship. It's some general questions, and I'm sure Kareem's going to go into.
Listen, I got a whole list of questions.
Jamie, like, oh boy.
So Kareem, I'm going to let you have the floor first.
Okay. All right. So I want to start out with one of my favorite rap lyrics, and it says, "You wasn't in the gym when I was shooting those shots," and it has to do with whether or not if I should be giving you a percentage of my income. Now, in relationships, should I have to give up part of my income? I'm in a gym working 5,000 layups a day, 10,000 free throws. Do I have to break bread?
It's kind of a dynamic question, right?
And you're in California, too. Yeah, so
yeah.
Laws are different out there.
No, yeah, law's a lot different, but it's one of it's kind of a dynamic question when you talk about the evolution of the relationship in itself.
Mhm.
Whereas though, men and first were the breadwinner, they brought home the bread, and then now that it's sort of equaling out, everyone's sort of doing their own thing. They're bringing equal amount to the table, and when you find a partner that you're one with. It doesn't matter. You have one common goal, and that is to uplift first our family, then our community, and the people around us. So if you find that partner who has those common goals, you always work toward that, and you don't fight over whose is whose and what is what. Like me personally, and I'll be honest. Once again, we're honest. We're not. I don't even look at my paycheck. I don't write a check for bills.
None.
I literally have to ask, hey, can I spend like $20 on this?
So wait a minute, you making the money, and she got to dictate how you spend the money?
The little thing y'all don't know about the husband is he can spend, and it's not little things. He'll come home with like a whole new entertainment system. I'm like, whoa, okay, he likes, but no, I mean not really dictate, but he works and I run everything from.
You run a business at home.
Yeah, I run my own business, but I keep the house. The bills. He doesn't have a clue what's the electric bill.
Every CEO has a CFO, right? And what it allows me to do is not have to worry about that. All I got to do is get up and worry about work. All I got to do is worry about bringing home the bread. So it allows me actually to be better at what my job is. Because I have a partner that I know that I don't have to worry about. You know what I mean? Like if you're the CEO of the company, you started it at first. You was the CEO, CFO. Then eventually it grew. It got too big. And you got to say to yourself, who do I trust to put in that place with the most important part of the business? I need to be able to trust a partner with the books. So once again,
who do I trust? Me.
Classic line of Scarface. Me. That's who I trust. I trust me.
But it all goes back to trust and communication and knowing that person that you're with. I mean, something that might blow your mind. We had combined bank accounts and shared credit cards before we were married.
I mean, we want to talk on this podcast.
And it was just we both worked. Before children, I worked. It was just. I don't know. It just kind of
it just sort of worked out well.
Yeah.
She cooks better than me. I'm not going to try to step in the kitchen and try to cook. Right? I know. I mean, if I try to cook, my kids will kick me out of the kitchen.
You have like alarms going on, like I had earlier, like when the smoke alarms were going off when I was making bacon. I like my bacon extra crispy.
Yeah, exactly. You tried to open up a window to solve the problem. You didn't really try to take out the fire. You didn't really try to put out the fire.
No, so he didn't have the itis. You passed out from smoke inhalation.
All kind of stuff is going on. Okay, so all right. So the CEO, you come home, right, and the CFO gives you a honey to-do list. Now,
nope.
how do we no honey to-do list?
Nope.
She tries to keep it simple for me.
No.
I mean, she says to the kids all the time, like, hey, man, he goes to work and busts his ass, so we live where we live. We have the luxuries that we have. He's not going to come home and have to do chores.
So you don't go to Home Depot at all?
That's my spot.
I mean, we go to Home Depot, typically we go in together, and I'm following.
Oh.
Yeah, I mean, no, but when it comes to like Home Depot stuff, I mean, the garden center, we don't typically, we'll go to, like, I like Home Depot because we're always, we'll do little things, but that's when it comes to repairs and fixings that either you call somebody or he does it.
Yeah.
No, I'm not like the man of the house by any means, but I know a lot of women will hate me for saying this, but he does bust his ass for the family. He does a lot. End of the day, a stay-at-home mom, right? But I still run a business at home, but I'm home. The kids are off to school. They're, teenagers. My thing is, as far as my husband working so hard, he should not have to come home and cook dinner or clean up or do laundry. Like
I agree. Yes.
So
I agree with that.
And I get it. Like he said to me, "Oh, well, wait till Saturdays." Like I grew up with, Saturdays when my mom worked, and on the weekends we did everything. And I go, exactly. Your mom worked, so I don't work. So am I going to sit around all week? And I don't know what people do when they sit around all week.
I can tell you, we play PlayStation all week. We play PlayStation this week now.
And then wait for you to come home and be like, "Oh, help me with this, help me with that." And in a way, that's kind of been it for a lot of years. But I just believe as much as he does for this family, I don't feel right having him to come home and clean this and cook that. I have some girlfriends, they don't work. They've never worked a day in their lives. Their kids are off with nannies. They don't clean their own house. They have a cleaner that comes in. What do you do all day? And then they turn around and be like, well, why is he mad? Or I don't know. I feel very differently about it.
Yeah.
My husband takes care of home. I make sure he's taken care of. And the family is just, weekend is our time for the family. I don't want us to be cleaning the house and that's his time to spend with us.
I hope y'all know that y'all are not normal.
But that's why we have the podcast, right? Not normal.
Not normal. Not at all.
But I think you have to understand the dynamic of your situation. Like my job, sometimes I'm going 3-4 times out of the week. How much participation can I really have at home? You know what I mean? So she can't have a huge to-do list. Now, do I have it Saturday morning? I'm typically the first one up. I'm, cleaning up the yard or doing something around the house. But it's not like I have a 9 to 5 where I get off and I come home. There's times I come home at 10, 11 o'clock at night and I'm back out on the road at 5 in the morning and don't come home until 2 days later. So, you have to know that situation, in order to how do you make that scenario work? So, yeah, I don't have time to sit at home and be like, yo, what's going on with the bills? Let me sort these bills, this, that, and the other. That's why I got a good CFO that I can trust that can handle that.
And
I'm going to send you all my bills in my bank account. Work that out for me.
How good. And it's like, this has never been a conversation that we even had, like, hey, I'm going to be going to work. It's just kind of, I don't know, instinctively or somewhat. Again, it's just, he works hard. Okay, I'm home, and beginning, like our girls are 11 months apart. So it's tough, because he didn't really take a lot of time off when we had them. So that was, a little difficult balancing, but you just make it work. You just make it work.
Gotcha. So I got a quarantine question for you.
Uh-oh.
You've been locked down for, 6 weeks, 7 weeks, 8 weeks by now?
8 right here, yeah.
What are your top 3 tips for couples right now during quarantine? Because you get in the argument, you can't run to the bar, you're stuck in the house with this person that you just had an argument with, and the kids.
Don't get into an argument.
That's impossible. You're going to argue about something.
You know what it is? I think it's, once again, I believe in what's your overall goal? What are we all moving towards? And for me, it's always moving, for right now, especially, it's moving to what can we do to remain safe so we all come out healthy on the other side. And when I say healthy, I'm not just talking physically healthy. I'm also talking mentally healthy.
Emotionally.
So, Nikki came up with every day of the week, let's do a theme. Workout Wednesdays, Saturdays, maybe everyone gets their own time to themselves. Thursdays, game night, so like different things to keep us occupied. Obviously everyone's situation is different. And we joked around about it. We're like, some people gonna find out who was the side piece and who wasn't right now. You know what I mean? Like, who you quarantining with?
That's too funny. You mean to tell me you ain't wake up one morning and look at Nikki and be like, I gotta have eggs and turkey bacon again? You ain't switching it up. You ain't arguing about stuff like that.
You know what? No, we haven't had an argument. I think we're fortunate though. So that like Nikki has her office where she works. I have my office where I work. The kids have their spaces in their room or in the loft where they do their work. So we can actually all separate ourselves, sort of, and we can have alone time. And we joked around with I'm like, what if y'all walk by my office? I mean, the window, right? And y'all saw me in the chair. I said I was working. I was taking a nap. So but we also are fortunate to live in an area where we can go outside. Mm-hmm. And we don't live in a crowded part of California. We can literally go outside and go for a walk, which is important. Mm-hmm. So, I think it's going back to the original question. If you have an argument, just be willing to have open and honest communication. Mm-hmm. Find ways to get through that argument. Is it, hey, I'm going to give you that space. I'm going to let you cool off, or we're going to cool off. And let's come back to it when we're more at a level head and not just getting to screaming matches that don't achieve anything.
Jamie, I see you shaking your head a lot over there. You got some questions for them?
I don't know. I have one question. So I when I look at couples, I look at them and I try to figure out whether they're just a couple or power couples mean a big thing to me. So would you consider yourself a power couple?
I think that definition is self-defined, and that power looks different for everyone. Mm-hmm. And for us, I think we are who we are. We adapt to our situation, and we happen to be good partners.
We are
who are in love with each other.
We are very in sync. One unit, I would say.
Yeah.
Power can be a interesting word. One of us doesn't overpower the other. In some ways, I power the kitchen, stay out of my space. But other than that, we work as one. We're a unit, and that's I know that's how this whole thing works.
Yeah.
So nobody's power tripping.
And I think part of that is knowing your partner, and knowing, when I think of relationships is, you got to know what you can and cannot live with. What things that, when you spend time alone, right? And you're a single person and you do things that get on your own nerves, and that's you doing it. Don't marry somebody who does the same shit. Because if someone else does the same shit that get on your nerves that you doing, it ain't gonna work.
Yeah, I can't stand when somebody don't take the trash out. I can't stand that. Somebody need to take the trash out, and it's only me. Somebody need to take the trash out. I can't stand it.
You are so stupid.
But that's important though. If it gets on your nerves, then she ain't taking the trash out. Hey, next time you take it out, you might as well shut the door behind you.
No, it's only me. I get mad at me for not taking out the trash. I walk around somebody. It's only me. I need somebody to take the trash out.
Yeah, sounds like you need maid.
So I'm gonna test your skills in giving relationship advice. So the first and forever, I'm a caller, and I call into your show and I present you with this scenario.
Right.
Okay? So I'm working with somebody I have to work really, really close with, who has been in the past with my partner. And I have a problem with that as a employee, I guess. I have to work really close to this person, but I know that they have slept with my partner. What advice would you give to this person on how to handle the situation? Because I have to work with them. I have a problem with this person, knowing that they've been with my partner in the past.
Oh, wait. Do you guys answer? I need clarity on this question. Okay. So you're telling me that you worked with somebody that knocked off your joint?
You have to be close with this person. They work closely with this person.
And he knocked her off before you, or while you was with her? It's different.
You put it like that.
We're gonna go before.
Okay, before you. Oh, you can't hold anybody accountable for that past. I'll let the experts speak. But you can't.
You're talking about me still here, first of all. It could have been when the woman was 3-5 years old. Lisa was like.
We kiss you on the cheek.
He passed that no in fourth grade now.
No, I mean obviously that's a tough one, but I think Spencer's clarification is key though. if it's before you, they didn't know you. You can't hold anybody accountable, right? Like, you know what? They had a life, but Nikki had a life before me. I had a life before Nikki. And, it's funny, like, of course, I know a bunch of people, and if my past comes up, people are like, yo, you just talk about it in front of your wife? I'm like, I didn't know my wife then. You know what I mean? Like, why would she get mad at that? Like, what am I supposed to hold off because I know it's going to meet you? No.
I was CFO.
You gonna want to spend money one day? You should be like, yeah, but why don't you go ask such and such?
I'm gonna use that.
Now we throw another curveball in there. Let's assume that the situation is that person that you're with still had to have communication with the other person. So the person that you with,
right.
and you got to work closely with the other person. They still got to have communication somehow, shape, form, or fashion. Would you be okay with it?
What are they communicating about?
Work
Stuff, life. Maybe they work together. I don't know. Maybe they got friends that run in the same circle.
But let me chime in before while the professionals are Once it is communicated, at least to me, and I try to put this as nicely as possible because this is a kids podcast. I'll probably tell him, you know what? I don't F with you. Don't speak to me no more. Bottom line. We ain't got nothing to talk about. That's it. I don't F with you. Don't talk to me.
Jamie, how would you handle that situation?
If they still have to talk for work, they still have to talk. You have to be adults about it.
No, we don't. Big email. You got to talk to me. Big email.
Can't put everything in an email.
Yeah, if it has to do with work, look, put it in an email. Put it on a conference call.
Just keep it professional.
But
keep it up here. And keep the side conversation to a minimal and be respectful, because the one thing you don't want to do is put anybody in an odd situation at work. Right? But you got to be friendly, but ain't nobody going out for drinks after work.
No, we're going to set the tone day one. I don't F with you. Plain and simple. Now, if we happen to break up, then we keep our friends. That's my man over there. Yeah, that's my man's in there. We hang out now. But no, you can't do that.
Interesting. Really, really interesting.
Oh.
The podcast is called First and Forever. Where can they find your podcast?
Our podcast?
Yes, sir.
The Spotify is primarily where it's debuted at, and you can find it there, but you can find it on Anchor, Google Play podcast thingy. Those are primarily the three.
All right, we'll make sure we get your link up on our podcast as well and drop some of our audience over there and hopefully they ask you some crazy questions like I asked you too.
Yeah, we appreciate that.
Yeah,
I have my own questions though. I have more. We're not done.
You can go ahead now. You can send them the podcast. We got it all for you.
Okay. Now, how soon is too soon to give up my phone password, or is that a no?
Phone password? Oh.
Yeah, access to the phone.
That's a good question. I think it's up to you, because what you got to hide?
No, it's not even what I got to hide. If you go looking, you're going to find something. So like Treasure Island, if you eventually go to Treasure Island, you're going to find something.
If it's some girlfriend or boyfriend for like a few months, I mean, look, if it's not somebody that you intend, if you're not intending to spend your life with, why do they need to be in your business like that?
Right.
Jamie, you giving up a password? How long does it take for you to give up a password on your phone?
I change my password all the time on my phone. No one needs to look at my phone.
So here's a question. Here's a question back to y'all. What's given up first? What's more precious? The booty?
Oh my.
Or the password?
That's different. That's not even a fair question.
This is a kid podcast. They said.
No, we're going to do this exclusively for adults.
Hey, giving up the drugs or giving up the password?
It's kind of a legitimate question, right? So we didn't grow up in that era.
It is, but I would say get the draws before you give up the password, because if you give up the password, you may not get the draws.
Very true, though. Very, very true.
I agree. Keep going. What else you got for it?
All right. The last sip of juice. Now, if I leave like maybe this much left, because I'm just petty like that, and I don't want to be able to be the person to have to write it on the list that we need for juice, does that start an argument? I just need like a little small sip left. Or because I want to tell people that we need more orange juice. Is that wrong?
Yes.
That's.
Why is that wrong? It's not really. It's not done. It's still like a little bit left, and the next person getting right on the list that we need to have more orange juice. It's still like that much left. Is that wrong?
What's wrong? What's going to be wrong is when this airs, your dating list is going to be -6.
It's better for people to love me for who I am. This is who I am.
There ain't going to be no loving.
This is
real love. This is Mary J. Blige. This is real love.
Oh, Lord. This is a real struggle.
Unbelievable. So...
But I will say this. I'm sorry to cut in, but I will say this. Like, we're foodies, and like when I buy something that I got my eyes set on that I really want to eat, and I want to eat the whole damn thing, and she says, "Oh no, I'm not hungry," and then when I start eating it,
I just want a bite.
Hey, can I have a bite?
Just a bite. What is a bite gonna do?
What's the last sip gonna do, Spence?
He is on another level. We will not be comparing anything. No. Mm-mm.
So that brings me to my next question, right? When you guys are out to dinner and we both get menus at the same time, right? I order my food because this is my food. You order like your salad because you say, you know what, I'm not really hungry. I'm health conscious, and my food comes, and then you like get your fork and you say, let me taste. Am I wrong if I say no?
Well, I won't get a salad because I like food.
Okay. But no. Am I wrong if I don't want you to eat off my plate?
I don't. Why can't I try it? You can try some of mine. We got two different things.
Once again, it goes back to what I just said. You had the menu just like I did.
Yes. Yes.
If we didn't set that tone before we ordered, you might pull back a nub when you go to reach for the food. So it's really good.
You need to have a disclaimer when you walk in the restaurant before we go in here. Look, this is how this is going to go down. Don't ask me whatever, and then we keep moving. James, if you're out on a date with somebody did that to you before you walked in the restaurant, how would you respond to that?
I don't want anyone touching anything on my plate. I think that's gross. You have your germs, I have my germs. We shouldn't be sharing germs like that.
Wait a minute, we're gonna be sharing germs later anyway. Wait.
That's different.
That's different.
Yes. That's very involved germs.
That is too funny.
But that is what you do. You set the tone early. It's more now. If you go into a place where it's shared food, that's cool. They serve it as shared family style. That's cool. But once again, you had the menu like I did. Now, if it's a place we've never been to before, hey, you know what? I wanted that, but that's too much to order two. Would you mind? That's why you had the conversation earlier. You just say it. I mean, like, look, I'm selfish with my food, but I want to try that.
But we get different things all the time. You'll try some of mine. I'll try some of yours.
But we talked about it first. we set that table up. We set the tone before we walked in the door.
So you're telling me that you have a scouting report of what's going to happen prior to going into the restaurant. You say you got a scouting report. Okay.
That's the athlete in him.
Oh yeah, you got to have a scouting report. I mean, sometimes we never been somewhere before. We'll go online and look at the menu. And just okay, all right, you get that, you get that because we want to share. And sometimes like, nah, don't touch this. I'm eating all this.
I'm a little petty sometimes. I'll order something that I know that she wouldn't like. For the
You are, Miso.
I don't have that problem. I don't really want it. I just know that she don't want it. So,
see, you down there, the orange juice man. That's why y'all friends.
That is too funny. So we have a segment on our show called All Things Little, headed by Jamie Roberts, because she is 2 feet tall. So we're going to ask you a question. She's going to talk about things that she can't stand that are little. So I want you to think about something that you can't stand that's little. So Jamie, I'm going to give you the floor on All Things Little.
All right. So we've talked about this before, but when you give someone that you are planning on marrying a ring, what size should the diamond be?
So you say you don't like little diamonds?
It shouldn't be that small. You should be able to. My hands are small anyway. That's the good thing. So I don't need like a really big diamond on my finger because my hands are small anyway. But
what if I don't have enough money? But I really, really love you.
Maybe you should wait until, because how are we gonna work this out if you don't really have a lot to start off with?
Okay. Before the professionals chime in, let me chime in. First of all, and we talked about this before on the previous show. Whatever you spend, I'm spending. So if you want big diamonds, I'm going out like Liberace. I'm flossing. Now, the second part two, is I just may be Afrocentric, and I may not want to participate in your whole blood diamond movement. I don't want no blood diamonds. So we're going to just get bands. Rubber bands at that, yes.
Mike.
We'll keep the environment safe. Yes. No more blood diamonds.
Interesting. I'm gonna throw it to Poles. Something that doesn't have to be rings. Something that's small that you can't stand.
Well, this is a family show.
Stop.
You gotta be proud. You gotta say something. No, you gotta say something. You better say something.
I was going to go back to food.
Okay.
I'm going to go back to food.
You got to take care of the other one first. You got to take care of what Nikki said first, and then you can go to food. You got to stand up.
No.
I didn't say anything.
There's a reason why the CFO is sticking with the CEO. Okay?
There you go.
We got a power company.
There you go.
Talking about, but anyway, I was going to throw it back to food. In fact, we was talking about food. And, like I said, we're foodies, and we'll try different places.
I don't like small portions. We don't. Yeah.
That's what I was about to say. I don't want to go out and spend money on food, eat, and then be hungry and have to go stop at McDonald's just to fill myself out.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Small portions, small plates.
Yeah.
I want to be fed.
Mm-hmm. I got that.
Simple. I mean, that's the first thing that come off the top of my head.
Yeah, I'd be mad.
Yeah, but I didn't think about that.
Yeah. Because I'm petty. I hear all kinds of things. Sometimes I hear things that are not even there. Don't pay me no mind.
So our second segment of the show is we did All Things Small. Kareem's been on a mission to find out if people are petty. So I'm gonna throw him the floor right now for his segment on All Things Petty, I guess.
Well, we had touched on a whole lot of petty issues, mainly the orange juice, right? And just by like Nikki's expression, right, I can tell that that's a petty issue for her, that nobody better not leave a small sip of orange juice or a small sip of nothing inside the refrigerator, because the CFO is going to go bananas on somebody. He knows better than this. Now, I guess my question is, would you consider a person petty if they continuously leave the toilet seat up?
If they continue to say it again?
You tell me to put it down, I keep putting it up.
Oh, leave the toilet seat up.
Yeah. Because my thing is, like, sometimes I gotta go to the bathroom, and if I'm out all day working, I only got like seconds. Now I ain't no time. I'm fixing them pants, and then I have to lift up the toilet seat. If it's already up, that saves me.
You got lighting problems already, bro?
Oh, absolutely. Listen, I gotta go. Listen,
You need depends already?
Oh, stop it.
Huh?
You gonna be wearing a diaper?
Listen, I'm close to it. Listen, I ain't gonna play no games. I had to pull over many times, like in back like a Dollar General. I had to go to the bathroom. Oh, I need to go out there and pee. I'm pissed everywhere.
Mm.
You might want to stop eating that bacon.
Huh?
I
If it's
don't
time
think
to go. You gotta go.
I don't think it would be a person would be petty to do that. Well, unless it was miso and now you maybe. But
Wait a minute.
How come I come into this?
As Jay is, he's got girls. I'm gonna put the seat down. He's got them. Put the seat down.
See, unfortunately, like most of us, raised by a single mom, you learn real quick to put that seat down. Don't let mom come home and have to put that seat down.
But
You know what I mean?
why?
So for me, it's a habit.
But why can't they see that the toilet seat is up and just put it down? I don't understand. It's like they go blind. They just can't see the toilet seat. I don't understand that.
Jamie, you shaking your head.
No.
What's the matter?
There is one male in this house and 3 females, and he's young. He better put the toilet seat down because he's outnumbered, and someone's going to get a hold of him if he doesn't.
In all fairness, though, you guys are already sitting down. When you stand up, you can lift the toilet seat up. Like, it takes more effort for us to bring it down than it does.
More effort.
wow. Okay. Keep waiting for me to lift the toilet seat for you.
It's dirty. You know what? My man might need to use the bathroom. Let me put the toilet seat up.
No. No.
But you know how to end that?
When
you put the toilet seat up, you gotta go pee in the middle of the night. Just keep dropping it. Be like, yo, it slipped out of my hand. And it start making that loud banging sound in the middle of the night. It start waking everybody up. I'll leave it up for you then.
That would be really petty.
That'd be funny. So one more time, where can they find your podcast first and forever?
The Anchor, Spotify, Google Podcasts.
It's on Apple. What's Apple iTunes? I saw iTunes too.
Yep.
And if they have a question to send to you, where can they send questions to?
So the email, it's J Allen. It's long. Jay Allen and Nikki Nikki at gmail.com.
Gotcha. I want you to talk about your business too, because I know you're doing some good things out there. So you're making masks and all that stuff.
Yeah.
What are you into?
So I design normally men's accessories, bow ties, custom bow ties, and I went from bow ties to, it kind of shifted unexpectedly into face masks. So we're doing some cute prints. It's going to go a little more custom once I have a little bit more time because I'm inundated with orders. But yeah, doing face masks out here, and a lot of people. I'm doing them out here, but they're shipping all over the country. It's crazy. So.
Yeah. How can people get in contact with you in regards to
that? Contact with me for the face mask because it's happened so fast. It's not on the website, but on any social media, whether it's Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, it's J Allen Inspired. So J, just the letter, Allen, Allen, Inspired.
Awesome.
Yep. And I have they can contact me through the website with a question, which isjalleninspired.com, but J Allen Inspired, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. And I will get back to them.
Awesome. Spence, any last words before we get out of here?
No, I just want to thank him for coming back on. Like, I know the first time we had him on, this is early, I think, season 2, we had him on. And, they were a lot of fun, and they were really open and honest. And I just appreciate them coming back and being just as honest. And I just wish them the very best, in their business as well as their podcast.
Thank you.
Appreciate that, brother.
Thank you.
Jamie, any last words?
No, again, it was nice to meet you. You guys do seem like a power couple, so I think that it's going to be interesting to see where you guys go.
I'm going to keep it real because I know y'all.
Hate.
I don't know if something that was really inappropriate, but I can't do that on this podcast. Any last words from you guys from a relationship standpoint?
No, not really. Just stay strong. Keep the whatever the common goal is that you guys want to achieve in a relationship. Keep that as your light. Keep that as your pilot light, and that drives all things. And you'll get there together.
Open communication, honesty, and if all else fails, bury him in the garden.
And
Well, she said she's gonna push me down the steps when I get older anyway. So
He's gonna be mean. It was a one joke. I said it in front of my mother-in-law. She goes, "If something happens to my son, I know who did it." I'm like,
listen, Miss Linda don't play.
so then I told her he has options. Make sure we live in a rancher where there's no steps. Problem solved.
Y'all are a mess. I don't know what to say. On that note, everybody, just stay safe out there. And like they said, if you're in a relationship, communication is important. Make sure that happens. Quarantine is tough. I don't know. Hopefully you're living in a space that you can get your own little space. But try not to argue. My mother used to tell me it takes two people to argue. So I don't say anything. I just listen.
smart man.
Anyway, until next time, stay in power.